gentlemen, thank you once again for watching the Evilution Podcast. I am your host, the Hat Man. You can't see me. Hopefully you won't see too much of me during the podcast. I thought it would be nice to do something off camera, so nobody has to look at my stupid face. I thought it would be kind of neat to do a podcast while I'm painting. So I wanted to try it out and see what people think of it. I'm joined by Harry the Taxman once again. He's off camera. He's sitting to my side here, so he's hanging out with me. Say hello to all of our fans, Harry.
Hello, you arts fans.
He almost said assholes. That's what it sounded like. So, Harry, you remember that Bob Ross show, The Joy of Painting?
Oh, yeah, I was a kid.
I love that show. And I always hated the fact that artists kind of always take a shit on him. They're like, oh, it's not real art. He can finish an entire painting in 20 minutes or whatever it was.
No, he's not the one that did the thing in 20 minutes. It was Katz that did it in 20 minutes. The cat that lived at West 4th Street, he used to do a painting in 20 minutes.
Okay.
Ross did a series.
Well, Bob Ross, but what I'm saying is, you know, I think his show was half an hour long.
Yeah. But,
and you have commercials.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but by the end of the episode, he went from starting a painting to completing a painting.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
So that's 20 minutes. He finished a whole painting. His technique was phenomenal.
Oh, I never paid too much attention to show. I seen his art, but I was not into art.
Now, obviously, I am not. I'm not going to be sitting here in an ASMR fashion, talking to you in a hushed voice about happy little clouds, and let's put a little bunny rabbit right over here, and we'll have a happy little tree hiding behind the other happy little tree. Not really my personality.
Nope.
So I don't think anybody who is listening to this is going to get a true ASMR experience. But hey, listen, if you don't like what we're talking about during the podcast, turn off the volume and watch me paint. I mean, I thought that would be kind of neat to try out. I don't see anybody else really doing that. You know what I mean?
Do what you got to do.
Well, try it out. I thought it'd be kind of fun. That way, I don't have to shave. And you'll see the back of my ugly, stupid head once in a while, probably. But, you know, it's just a painting most of the time.
That's what this thing's about.
Yeah. So, the reason why I have Harry on, and when I continue to do this, I'm probably going to end up doing a lot of these alone. What I envision eventually, if we can get any traction, is I'd like to bring people on people on the show who are artists, who are occultists, who are free thinkers, witches, sorcerers, ghouls, goblins of all kinds, general all-around weirdos is what we're looking for the show. So if you would like to come on the show, be interviewed, showcase some of your work, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email at adversaryarts999@gmail.com and make sure, you know, you have a link to your body of work so I can check it out, or, you know, a link to some sort of profile that describes you if you don't show anything, like if you're just a free thinker or a sorcerer or an occultist, or, you know, all the people I enjoy talking to. Send me an email. We'd love to hear from you and have you on. But the reason why Harry's on this podcast with me is because we were having a conversation the other day after I posted one of my videos. He was here when I was fixing it up. And I ended the video, I was talking about this painting that you see right here, and I ended the video with the question, what's the difference between innocence and stupidity? And you and I ended up having a really good conversation about that. So I wanted to make this podcast kind of themed on that, because this is one of the paintings in a new series that I'm starting. And basically, one of my friends said to me, hey, I saw this artist, I forget which country it was, where he had these graphic depictions of war-torn scenes from his native country. It was probably after World War II or during World War II, if I remember correctly. He said, why don't you do something like that? And I said, okay, actually, that's a really interesting idea. But, aside from the Civil War, we don't really have a lot of depictions or even memory of war in this country. War never really comes to our shores. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, well, how can I do depictions? Because the thought interested me, how would I make sure that people know this is America? You know what I mean? I mean, I could have, bodies laying in front of a McDonald's or something, but it's not really...
That's make-believe.
It's not really my style.
No.
That
shows the reality of war, the casualties.
Well, that would be the reality. But I'm not going to paint a fucking McDonald's. I can't do it. No. I have too much of a classical mind for that. I'm obviously concerned with contemporary issues. I do live in the world as much as I try to stay out of it. But in my artwork, you're never going to see me painting a McDonald's or something that can... I don't want to paint anything that transmits to the viewer exactly what time period I'm living in. Because good painting is judged in a matter of centuries. Really good painting is judged over a millennia. It's a little different than movies or even music where, your success is judged over decades. The Beatles were popular for 10 years. That's considered an amazing success. The Mona Lisa, centuries old. That's where you have to get to be considered a success. And I kind of feel like, if my painting does survive my inevitable death,
it will outlive you.
That's what I want. And I don't want it to be judged according to... I don't want to be an Andy Warhol type of character where I'm painting Campbell's soup cans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So you're never going to see a McDonald's in my painting. So I was like, okay, well, how can I make sure that it hits home to people that this is supposed to be an American landscape so that it's emotionally gripping to viewers now, but I'm not taking anything away from whatever power my work might have in the future. I don't want it to be judged as an edifice for the time I was living in. I want it to be able to speak to people 400 years from now the same way it speaks to people today. And maybe people today could have a contemporary take on it where it hits home because it is talking about issues of today, but those issues will be the same types of issues that are going on centuries from now. People will be essentially talking about the same things.
Yeah, well, you got to show the reality of it.
You're never not going to have war.
Oh,
not for a very long time anyway.
We're going to have one war after the other. So,
yeah. I think it'll be a long time before human beings evolve beyond it. So I was kind of sitting with this idea, if I remember correctly, for a few weeks, and it was sticking in the back of my mind that, art is extremely powerful, and that's why abstract expressionism has been so heavily promoted by the CIA, and in Western countries, it's been commodified. They are afraid of art that would grip you emotionally. And they even made up a derogatory name for it called kitsch. If there's a painting that's obviously grips you emotionally, they call it kitsch instead of art. And they describe kitsch as something that's mawkishly attempting to grab your attention. In other words, you don't have to have any formalized indoctrination in order to appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, but it's in your face, that's it. And it has to have a message.
It bothers me because you're not supposed to be indoctrinated in order to decide what type of music you like. You figure out what type of music you like by listening to music, and if something grabs you by the balls or tugs at your heart, you know, hey, that's for me.
Yeah.
But with the visual arts, and it's the same thing with movies. You watch a bunch of movies and you decide maybe you're a horror movie fan. One of my favorite contemporary painters right now, Chet Zar, who actually got the idea from to do a podcast centered around art and weirdos. You know, he paints a lot of monsters. He used to work in Hollywood doing monster design, kind of like you'd like to do with your characters.
I don't make monsters. I make living creatures. And if they talk to me, send me to Bellevue, because now my creatures are talking to me. I want my creatures to talk to other people.
There you go. Exactly. You want it to speak to others. So, you know, he's a big fan of monster movies, but you don't need any formal indoctrination in order to decide that, you know, you're a fan of monster movies, or you're a fan of Marvel movies, or you prefer Francis Ford Coppola. You know, it's just, if it tugs at your heart, grabs you by the balls, you know that you like it. So visual art seems to be the only thing that has this wall in front of it, where if you don't have the correct formal training, you're not making the correct decision. And when you really dig into it, what it turns into is it's just an architecture for money laundering. It's really all it is.
Oh, they make it that way.
And I've made a few videos talking about those facts. And I think it does a disservice to humanity. People should just be able to figure out what they like. And but in any case, so getting to the point, I was stewing with the idea for a little bit, and then I thought, hey, wouldn't it be so much cooler rather than to have something in the painting that's obviously contemporary? Let me take it a step further. I'm not just gonna have you know, the horrors of war in an American landscape. I'm gonna show the horrors of war with both the children being the victims, but also the children are the perpetrators. The children are also the ones fighting. So right now I'm starting off with images. I got a couple kids in a concentration camp. And this is one that's almost finished. I was hoping to finish it today, but money called, and I had to run out the door a few times. So this young man is obviously not having a good day, but this is the one I'm going to work on today, a little bit, while we're doing our podcast. And I want to get the second layer on this. That's only one layer in, so I thought that would be better to kind of work on while we're talking. So, you know, I always say that, you know, people who wage war on each other, obviously they're childish. It's not the best way to go about settling your disputes or differences. It generally doesn't lead to resolutions. It just leads to animosity and hatred. I mean, look at what happened with World War I, and then, you know, we fucked Germany, and then, hey, guess what? 20 years later, they're ttrying to take over the world again.
Yeah, they created the problem, and Hitler straightened it out, and here we go again.
We created the problem, and Hitler answered.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I always say it's kind of childish to go about things those way. And then, you know, we hit upon the point, well, wait a second, you know, very famous painting in a lot of museums. There's a lot of different versions of it. I think it's a Bible story. Massacre of the Innocents. Okay, well, wait a second. If I'm saying you have to be pretty childish to start a war, and then everybody's like, oh, think about the children. I'm like, yeah, but adults are just children in bigger bodies, the way I see them.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, what's the difference between innocence and stupidity?
A very, very fine line.
Yeah. So we looked it up. I have it on the screen right now. So Google's AI answered me. Innocence is a lack of experience or corruption, often viewed as a pure or naive state, while stupidity is a deficiency in intelligence or judgment, often resulting in poor decisions despite having or being able to have knowledge. Innocence lacks malicious intent. Stupidity is failure to learn from experience. See, that part I don't like, because stupidity often also lacks malicious intent. So basically what they're saying here is innocence is basically stupidity, except you have an excuse. I mean, doesn't it look the same way to you? Am I completely reading that wrong? I don't see much of a difference. What do you think?
It's stupidity people have because they should have the experience. Say, wait a minute, that don't seem right.
Yeah.
Children go along with anything because they don't know any better.
Sure.
And if you don't know any better, well, it's like the kids know the difference between good and evil. Well, this is what we teach them.
I mean, do you think it really goes back to the Garden of Eden story? I mean, the way we define these things seems so fucking convoluted to me. You know what I mean? I mean, Adam and Eve were innocent, and then they ate the forbidden fruit. By the way, was not the tree of life; it was the tree of knowledge.
Yeah.
God didn't care if we lived forever, as long as we were ignorant enough to continue serving Him.
Well, he had control.
Yeah.
I don't think they had robots in that day. It was just a matter of control, and they accepted that way of life.
Well, I don't know. Do you think maybe they did have robots?
But
Maybe
only Adam and Eve.
Maybe Elni and Enkel or whatever. The original gods from what's it fucking called? Shit. What's that fucking ancient religion? The Assyrians? Is that it?
Yeah.
Is it? No, I forget. But anyway, maybe God, in the Bible, maybe it was like an alien race. Maybe that's where the story comes from. Maybe they had all sorts of crazy shit, and we're just a DNA experiment.
That's possible.
It's possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible.
Life is a story. That's it. Everybody's got a story.
But you brought up a few points. We got to talking. The difference between innocence and stupidity. And you brought up, what's the one thing you brought up that I was like, I got to have you on the show because I wouldn't even thought of that. I think it's the Children's Crusade.
Oh, yeah, that was the crusade when the Catholic Church got all the orphan children and created an army of them and sent them down to Jerusalem to free it. But meanwhile, they made a deal with the Arabs to capture the children and make them slaves.
I don't know if they made a deal, did they? I think it was kind of like the Pope knew what would happen.
Knew they were going to be captured, and they turned to be slaves to the Muslims. So I don't know. Slavery's been around for a long time.
Who was it? Was it Pope Clement, Pope Innocent? Who did the Children's Crusade?
I forget. It was one of them.
It was like this cunt goes ahead. It's kind of like a false flag operation, but back in the day.
Yeah.
He convinces everybody to give up their children for God, to go on this children's crusade, because he goes, the innocence of the children will display the love of our Lord to the Muslim infidels, and they will be so overwhelmed with the innocence displayed here that the infidels will come to a greater knowledge of God and our Lord Jesus Christ. And everybody went along with it. And I got to imagine that if you're the Pope, you're kind of smart. You know what I mean?
Or you're the biggest con man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, he knows what's going to happen. And basically, these children all march without weapons on the Holy Land. And the Muslim infidels, they go, oh, thank you very much for the slave labor and the sex slaves. That's awesome. I don't know how we can ever repay you, but, you know, we'll figure something out in the future maybe. And then the Pope goes, oh, wait a second. Oh, my goodness, look what these Muslim infidels did. They are so corrupted by the devil that the innocence of our children could not persuade them to the love and magnificence of our Lord Jesus Christ. He knew that was going to happen. And all of a sudden, everybody's outraged. And they go ahead and launch another crusade with armed soldiers, which is what the Pope wanted, and nobody was fucking having it.
Well, maybe that was in the background in his mind.
I think that's exactly why he did it. I think he knew exactly.
Sounds like a government doing a draft to start a new war.
Yeah. You just got to get the people behind it.
Yeah.
9/11!
Yeah, 9/11.
You just got to get the people to back it up.
And tell a few lies while you're at that.
Well, what's the false flag operation that started Vietnam? You would know this. You were there.
That we were there in 45 fighting the Japanese.
No. Vietnam.
Yeah, well, that's how far back we go. We helped those people in Vietnam fight the Japanese. 2 years later, Ho Chi Minh wanted to be free from the French, and we told him, no, we can't do that because the French were allies in World War II. So then from 48 to 54, we sent advisors over there to help them fight the Viet Cong because Ho Chi Minh took, it was a civil war between the North and the South, just like we had in the 1860s. Okay. So it ended up that we were supporting one side. We put our puppet government in South Vietnam, and we wanted to keep it there. And in 54, if you remember
But wasn't there one false flag incident specifically that started the Vietnam War where we pretended one of our ships got sunk? Wasn't it like called the Tonkin or something?
Yeah, no, that was the spy ship in North Korea when they took our spy ship in.
I'm thinking of the Korean War, maybe.
The Korean War.
Okay.
That they
My
took
bad.
our spy ship. All right, but when we had our guys die there, then we had to put the support behind the South Vietnam government, and we supported them for like 20 years, and slowly we got in there. But the big battle was Shah Khan Valley with when the movie We Were Soldiers.
Mm-hmm. I think we watched that together, didn't we?
Yeah. That was a real battle that took place in 1954 when the French had to get out of known as Indochina.
Mm.
And the people wanted to unite Vietnam, and we didn't want Ho Chi Minh to say, because he had the Marxist attitude, or he was a communist, and we had to keep him out.
Of course.
And if you remember, go back in 54, MacArthur, when the communists they blackballed a lot of artists and movie stars because they were communists.
Oh yeah, basically all of them.
Yeah, well, like I said, so we fought them, and as far as I'm concerned, we lost that war. We just wasted a lot of youth. A lot of our boys died there for nothing. But it was the parents that grew up, that came back from World War II, had children. 20 years later, you're sending your children to another war, and we think we're right. Well, it proved all wrong.
Yeah.
So, as far as the war over there, They probably the Vietnamese people probably lost 2-3 million people. We lost what 258,000, and 158,000 died, and we brought all the stuff back, and we ended up with a lot of people
Didn't you tell me something about how that one of the biggest reasons we fought that war was over rubber? Didn't you tell me that?
It was between rubber and petroleum products from the petroleum companies wanted to drill all along the Southeast Asia to get the well.
Yeah.
Again, it was money.
Well, I understand it was definitely a proxy war with Russia. I get that.
Right.
Because, we definitely were very paranoid about communism. We had to prove that our way of life was better, which for a long time it was.
Well, you got to remember, from the after World War II, I think Patton knew that the Russians were our enemy, and they said, "Well, we got them here. Let's send them back to the 5th century." And the thing is, then they labeled communism as against us, and now people, they followed up. But you know what? It's not. One government is as bad as the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the Revolutionary War. We didn't want to trade one king for the other, and that's what the problem is. And today, what do we have? We got two different parties, but they're the same.
I've said this for a long time, and I started to have some illusions that I might have been wrong when I saw what was happening during the second Trump election. But I've said for a very long time, this country is ruled by a uniparty, and it's usually called something like the deep state.
Yeah, the deep state.
Yeah,
or the 5th state.
We have the illusion of choice, but we're very much living in a situation now where I think a lot of people are going to start feeling pretty hopeless because they realize that their vote really didn't do a fucking thing. Really didn't. I mean, everything that we didn't want to happen is now happening. It's pretty scary.
No, there's no difference between the Democrats and the Republicans or the Libertarians.
Essentially not. It's kind of weird.
Well, that's what we're up against. We're against people that have power, they have money, it's like training a dog. You can train a dog and they'll do what they do. You feed a dog, he'll have his loyalty. And what is the politicians? They feed us and we think we're free. Well, guess what, people? You don't know what freedom is because nobody is free.
Well, it's like that 9 Inch Nails song. Will you bite the hand that feeds you?
Yeah, well, do you know who are the casualties of war? Our children. Our children don't know any better, so we have to teach them the United States is great. This is what we fought for in World War II. And 20 years down the line, you have to fight for this country. You got to fight for your freedom. And then we as parents send our children off to war, and we think we're doing great.
Mm.
But like I said, when my son wanted to join the military, I said, fine. And I told him, it's up to you. You're making the choice, not me.
Well, listen, I mean, I'm certain that for a lot of young men, that's an incredible experience. And I mean, even if just watch the series Band of Brothers.
Oh.
I mean, what those guys went through. I mean, that created a bond and hopefully a love of life and an appreciation of what they have that you really can't get except by going through that type of hardship. I'm certain. I'm sure.
And their sacrifice they made. They were willing to make the sacrifice for their brother.
Yeah. So it is an experience. I have no doubt that it's an unparalleled experience. But I mean, let's let people do it who actually want to do it. Like gladiators. I don't know. I mean, let's bring back the gladiator pits.
Well,
that way warriors have some place to go.
Well, what about the 300 Spartans that in Greece that fought against the Persian king. There was 300 of them. They were
Spartans, the
They
Spartans.
they were bred to be warriors, and they fought the Persian king with the elephants and everything, and they managed to unite all of Greece together to fight the Persian Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that's what we're doing, we're trying to unite countries to fight against this idea of communism. And you know what?
Well, dude, that's not why we're anywhere right now, though. I don't think the
right
current
now
wars we're fighting have anything to do with communism.
The war now,
the civil war we're about to have in this country might have something to do with communism.
Yeah, that's a different war.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's a different war.
All right.
People been lied to, and now they're waking up. But like I said, you got to pick and choose your side. And the government puts one group of people against the other. If we all got united, black, white, yellow, green, pink, whatever color you are, we would find out who the real enemy is.
Mm.
The real enemy is the people that have the power, that want to keep us ignorant, keep us as not economic slaves, I'll call it, workers, robots, whatever, and they want to control the economy. They want to control how we live. And it's no worse than what they did in the Bible days, back with Egypt and the Israelites and the Hebrews. So nothing changes.
Mm.
And once we recognize that, we're going to find out who's the real enemy. Sometimes it could be yourself.
You know, I've always said that if you want to know where your enemy lies, all you have to do is find out who or what is attempting to acquire and consolidate power.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to have power over somebody else so badly that they are actively pursuing not only gaining it, but focusing it, supercharging it. What do I want to say here? You know, I'm actually having a problem finding words painting. That's kind of weird. I'm using like a different part of my brain while I'm doing this. The acquisition and the consolidation, there it is, of power. Those are your enemies. Those are the people you got to keep a fucking eye on. You know, most of us just want to be left the fuck alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you got great enough power, and let's say you own a factory, and you got power over these people, you control their economics, and I control the economics, great. But now you've got responsibility for these people, and you say, well, I got to pay them.
Oh, man, nobody in America wants that. They want to make money, but they don't want to be responsible.
Yeah, they don't want the responsibility. If you're a farmer, you got animals, the animals have to perform what they got to do. You got to take care of those animals.
Oh, my gosh. Nobody wants to do that.
No.
That sounds like work. We just want to make money.
You're right. You want money without the responsibility. It don't work that way.
Yeah.
We don't have to feed them. We'll keep them as slaves. And that's what early days, they worked them to death.
Mm-hmm.
And some countries do that.
Working their population to death does sound kind of familiar.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't you kind of feel like that's what's happening here right now?
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
All right. Fair enough.
We still have,
I mean, you can work 80 hours a week and still not be able to afford to even rent a house. You don't think that's working your population to death?
Or you give them a student loan that they'll never pay off.
I mean, I'm not saying it's like the fact. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you give them a student loan they can never pay off. Hey, fuck you. Pay me. Get to work. Get to work. I mean, we're not at the point where, you know, they are in, you know, those supposed factories in China where they have the nets set up so that you can't commit suicide during your shift.
But
God damn it. I mean, you're working how long, how many hours, and you can't afford a roof over your head? We're getting pretty goddamn close, don't you think?
Well, we're getting close because people can't afford houses now, and then offering 40-year mortgages. What, are you kidding me?
Yeah, the 50-year mortgage. Yeah.
Yeah, you just create a slave trade.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
I mean, no, they don't. Nobody wants you to be free. What did BlackRock say? BlackRock wants nothing but renters, not homeowners.
Well, I don't think they ever said that, but you can tell what they want from what they do.
They're buying
and dude, it's really funny that bill got introduced into Congress to disallow speculation from large corporations. I don't know how it was worded. I'm probably getting it wrong. But to disallow that type of large-scale speculation from large corporations in the residential housing market. And they were going to be given a certain amount of time to divest their holdings so that the market would come back down to a manageable level where people would be able to afford to buy property again and rent, which that would be nice too. And it got shot down in Congress right away. Like, it didn't even stand a chance. Yeah. I don't even know who wrote the bill or introduced it, because it did not stand a fucking chance.
It was some congressman that's been bought out or had stock in the company.
Yeah.
That's why you go to Congress, you're broke. When you leave Congress, you're
rich.
Billionaire. Like Pelosi.
Well, Pelosi, I think she's worth $250 million or something bullshit. There is an app where you can follow her stock trades.
Yeah.
And you can copy her stock trades.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, she somehow, who knows? I mean, I don't know how. I don't want to speculate. She's better at the market than Warren fucking Buffett.
That's called inside trading.
Oh, get out of here. How dare you?
No, that's the truth. It's inside trading. Martha Stewart went to jail for it. Oh, but she was.
That's right. She did. I always forget about that.
And let's talk about that
high-speed
railroad that they trying to get through California when they burned down Parasite City.
Right.
Oh, every town on that route got burnt down.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not talk about that. It's always been about money.
Yeah.
Nobody could deny that. World War II was about money.
Yeah.
And when Japan wanted the rubber trade and the petroleum trade back in the 30s, we were friends with them.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute they tried to expand the empire, we had to stop them.
Right.
And that, all wars are trade wars. And it's all about economics. And
ideology is only there in order to convince the people to go along with what you want them to do.
Sacrifice your body.
Except maybe, I don't know, maybe in the Middle East it is actually a holy war. I don't know. I don't know what these people believe, man.
What do you call holy war?
Some of these people believe some wacky things like, if we can get, if I don't want to get too political, but, if we can get certain things to happen, then Jesus will come back out of the clouds.
Oh, okay.
And save us all, and it'll be the end of the world, but it'll be a good thing. That's not a healthy perspective to have when you are shaping the course of nations. And we have a lot of people in power, it seems like, that believe that nonsense. So are they working to maintain the health and vitality of our nation and our world, or are they actively striving to bring about its end so they can see Jesus come back in a fucking cloud, man? If people actually believe that, that is terrifying. That's really bad.
Some people think that he's the savior, and some people think Trump was the savior.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing great for America. Well, what
happens?
What happened to our price for gas? It's jumping $20, $40, 20, 30 cents every time you go to the pump.
Mm.
Your fuel bill's gone up double. So therefore, again, it's an economic war.
Yeah.
And who pays for it? The children indirectly, because let's say you have a 24-year-old that went to college and stuck with a $240,000 student loan that they're going to pay for the next 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
They have to come back, and they got to live in your basement, and they can't live a life. Oh, what happens if they're married, they got 2 kids, and they come back, and they're living in your basement, now you can't retire.
Mm-hmm.
Or you get to a point that the prices get to a point, you can't retire at all, now you're working in Walmart as a greeter.
Yeah.
Or you're running for what?
Harry, I'm telling you, if you live too long, that's what you're going to be fucking doing. I'm going to come to a Walmart, and you're going to be standing at the door, and you're going to say, "Hello, sir. Welcome to Walmart." I'm like, "Holy shit, is that Harry?"
No, that I don't. That's the possibility if I live another 25 years.
Exactly.
I'm going to be the biggest welfare client, or I'm going to be independent.
Dude, inflation's going to eat everything up.
Everything up. I got a fuel bill of $800. The propane went from $2.29 to $2.89 in one jump.
Yeah.
Now that with a 500-gallon tank, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's again, it's always been a trade war. It's always been about economics, and it's always about power. And what did Rockefeller said? Rockefeller said, the secret to wealth is not to own anything, to get to use it.
Yeah. No, he's right. He's definitely right.
He didn't pay no income tax.
That's
back
actually
in 1930.
that's actually something that's taught in the temple that I belong to, which will remain nameless. I'm sworn to secrecy.
Don't own anything, just get to use it.
Yeah, it's a thought experiment, and it's very popular among our members.
Well,
is if you would you rather own a car, or whenever you want to use your neighbor's car, it is there at your disposal. Which one's better? And most people are of the mindset, well, I'd rather just have my own car. But wait a second. If the conditions of its use are exactly the same and you're not paying for it, you don't have to worry about its maintenance. You don't have to worry about getting an oil change. You don't have to worry if you hear a little, oh, that doesn't sound right, better get that checked out. You don't have to worry about it. You get to drive it whenever you want. So what is... And now I'm not going to go ahead and say that, maybe we should all do what the World Economic Forum is trying to push us to without a fight. You will own nothing and be happy. But Rockefeller has a fucking point, doesn't he?
Well, you put it under a corporation, LLC, S corporation, a C corporation, or a 501c, like the rich ministers do and the mega churches. They don't own anything. But the Cadillac belongs to the church, not me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get a guy to drive me around. I don't have to drive. Or I buy $1 million plane. I fly to Africa and help some Africans, and I get a big write-off on that. But then again, it's always somebody.
Now you sound like you're talking about Mr. William Doors.
Yeah.
Can we say his name now without getting taken off? Bill Gates. Can we say it now? Because there was a time where you could not mention that motherfucker online in a negative way without getting your video banned. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's well known what he said it in the open anyway. But like I said, no one's totally free. They don't want you to be free.
The thing that really aggravates me, though, I've known all of this my entire life because, the way that the world works is fairly obvious. And it's become fairly obvious to me that, we're being squeezed for everything we have because it's like Tim Dillon says on his very famous podcast, this is the end of the empire. This is the last gasp of the American empire and maybe the West as a whole. So now we're just in the middle of a huge money grab. Everybody's going to get as much as they can before the whole program collapses.
Of course.
But the thing that really irritates me about like all of the corruption that's been exposed in both of Trump's presidencies, and I'm not talking just exposing his corruption. I'm talking about the Hunter Biden laptop, all social media platforms, all of this collusion and all of the Russian dossier, all of this corruption and collusion that's being exposed. Nobody pays any penalty. There is absolutely no accountability among these people. And I think it's because it's too abstract. I think it's because it's too, let me put it this way. I think it's a quote. If not, I just made it up and I'm fucking brilliant. But the quote that I'm thinking of is, there is absolutely no pain or disaster that can befall you that is so horrible that somebody else can't ignore.
Don't waste a good opportunity.
Well, what I'm saying is, if it doesn't happen to you, it's not as real,
well, of course not,
as it could be.
But once something becomes real, you got to react or you got to give into it.
That was part of my idea for doing these paintings, is to really confront people with what our actions actually could cause, are causing overseas, and could potentially someday, maybe someday very soon, cause here. And I want to give you a good example of what inspired me for this. Now, this is very interesting. I tried to look up this very specific piece of art. So here's the story. One of my favorite painters, Gottfried Hellwin, amazing painter. He, early in his career, and he was born in Austria right after World War II. It must have been a very strange time to grow up in that area. He's born into a decimated world. As an adult, he finds out that they found a Nazi doctor living somewhere. And this doctor was responsible for poisoning children in a concentration camp. And the population was like, he did his due. It's okay. Yeah, the past is the past. Like, nobody was up in arms. Okay? Gottfried Hellwin went ahead and made a piece of art, took out a full-page ad in the newspaper depicting what happens if you poison a child. Now, as soon as people saw the image, they were in an uproar, and I think the guy ended up getting executed. That's the power of visual images. That's the power that America and the CIA is afraid of. That's why we don't have art that's meaningful. Now, the funny thing is, Google AI knew what I meant when I was talking about this, even told me the story about Dr. Heinrich Willi, if I'm pronouncing that right, a German pediatrician who was accused of participating in the Nazi-era child euthanasia program. Okay? I try to look up this guy's painting in Google. Even though the AI knows which painting I'm talking about, I get this. It looks like there aren't any images matching on this topic.
You know that's bullshit.
So here's what I did. I went to Brave, and guess what? It's the first fucking result.
Right.
There's the image.
Yep.
So that's what Google and our government would like to censor. That's what happens when you have a Nazi doctor euthanize children. Now, everybody was okay with it until they saw it, until they were confronted with it visually. In a newspaper on a Sunday morning, drinking their fucking coffee before work, you're confronted with that. Then all of a sudden, people have a fucking opinion. And then all of a sudden, people get righteous about it. Because now it hits close to home. Because it's easy to hear about something and try to imagine it, but people don't have a fucking great imagination, Harry. They really don't. No. And all the shit that's happening with Epstein right now, and nobody except for Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell are going to be punished for it. Jesus Christ. People in this country are not nearly as upset as they should be. And I'm going to start making paintings about that. We're going to start confronting people in a way they are not going to like. And I don't give a fuck anymore.
Give them an uncomfortable feeling and let them see reality.
And guys, if it makes me uncomfortable, it's definitely going to make most of you uncomfortable. And I'm not going to apologize, but if I was going to apologize, I'd apologize in advance because I know the effect that shit's probably going to have.
Well,
So,
what about the guys that actually was involved with a situation that they actually faced in reality?
what are you talking about?
Oh, it's like the
Are we talking about a hypothetical person here?
no, it's like the nude girl running down the road with nothing because of napalm doing the
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
or General King shooting a guy in the head, and you actually see the brains coming out from the famous photograph.
Now, listen, if the paintings that I'm going to do and I am working on actually start to get any attention, I know what people's reaction are going to be. They're going to accuse me of being the thing that I'm trying to bring to light.
Yeah.
You know, some sort of sadistic, pedophile, child rapist, enslaver,
right.
sex trafficker. Listen, what happened to another famous photograph like the one you're talking about? I'm going to bring it up on the screen so we can look at it while we're talking about it. And then we should wrap up from there. I don't want these to get too long, but, whenever we finish the conversation. What could we call that? African starving child. How did I misspell African? Oh, because it's not capitalized? Okay, brave. No problem. With a... What's that fucking bird called? Vulture. This is a very famous photograph. Very famous photograph.
The vulture's waiting for the kid to die.
Just waiting for the kid to die. Open image in new tab. All right, that's reality. Okay, I'm not here to censor reality, and I'm not here to make anybody feel better about reality. That's reality. Now, Alex Gross, I think it was Alex Gross. Maybe the name's wrong. But anyway, the photographer who did this, I think the name is wrong. I think that's the guy who was photographing little girls for Playboy. He got in a lot of shit too. So the photographer who did this got so much shit from the public saying, like, you were there, why didn't you do anything? Did you help the child? And he's like, you people have to understand, I'm a war journalist. This is what I do. I see stuff like this every day. My job is not to help. There's people there that do that. My job is to make sure that you know what's going on over there. My job is to take pictures. And what a stunning image that is. If that doesn't drive the point home, what was going on over there, maybe still is, I don't know. But because it grabs at your emotions, it's not just information in a news story. It's not just political hysteria. That's human. That shows real vulnerability. That's something that every human being can relate to. People were so outraged that he captured this image that they gave him so much shit, that photographer actually ended up committing suicide. He couldn't take it anymore.
Well, if you expose so much truth in life, if you feel guilty and the people start mocking you, why don't you do something about it? Well, what can you do about it? What could he done? Chase the vote?
But of course you can. But you walk 10 more yards and you're going to see something just like that.
Right, it's the same thing.
It's all over the place.
Why is the child starving?
That was the point of the photograph.
Who caused the starvation?
Exactly.
Why didn't their own government do anything about it?
I forget exactly where and when this was taken, but But the villain of the story definitely should not have been the photographer that was exposing it. That's my big takeaway. And that people made him the villain of the story. And he ended up fucking killing himself because he was getting so much harassment. Now, you want to talk about shooting the messenger. Yeah. Case in point. Holy shit. That story has always disturbed me. Wouldn't it be funny if it's totally not true and I've just believed this fucking story for like decades and somebody's going to make a comment on the video and be like, that's not true at all. That would be really funny. Because I totally did not bother to look it up before we recorded this.
Well, like I said, if you try to describe a battle during a war and you were never in the war or on the front line, you're just pushing a message through. But if you were on the front line and you actually witnessed it or you were part of it and you saw this, it would bring back haunting memories.
Sure. Well, I think it haunted the public's mind to the extent,
right, because they don't want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. And then they placed all the blame on the person who exposed them instead of the person who caused it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Who caused it? Was it the government in Africa that did it?
Like I said, Harry, I don't remember the story. I don't know exactly when or. But I mean, stories like this are going on in the world all the time.
Somebody created the situation.
Right. Not the photographer.
No. This is the fallout.
Yeah.
And
this is the fallout of what policies of empire produce all over the world.
Yes.
Every day.
It's common. I mean, people die every day, but sometimes you die of natural causes or you die because of somebody else's action.
Mm.
I mean, you died in a battle because you're fighting a war. Well, why the hell are you in that war? Well, how did I get in there? Well, my government said they were my enemy, so I had to fight my enemy. Or you got a civil war going on between the Christians and the Muslim terrorists that in South Africa that's fighting back and forth for control of the country. Well, somebody's backing it up.
Yeah.
Who backs? Maybe you have a puppet government. Go back to the Shah of Iran, and back then, we backed up the Shah of Iran, or we had that other guy that took place, and he was just as bad. So it's the actions of other people that have the power that's creating this. Now, what could you do about it?
So are they innocent or are they stupid?
I told you, it's a fine line.
So this is really the one that caught my attention is right here. On the Google AI search, right. This is all it is. It says, one of the things you can use, it gives you a list in order to judge what the difference is. And it says, perception. Innocence is often viewed positively as being naive or uncorrupted, but stupidity is generally seen as a negative trait resulting in poor and harmful decisions. Yeah, so right there, the difference between innocence and stupidity, it looks like it's just perception. Yeah. So you know what? The people who are doing all of this nonsense around the world, they're fucking children too. I can't really see a difference.
Well, nature versus
and the people that push this photographer so hard he ends up killing himself, they're fucking children too.
No, face reality. It's like that people in this country, if they ever went to their slaughterhouses and they enjoyed their hamburger and saw what they do to the animals to feed ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's perception that these people would definitely not. They would think twice about what they're eating.
Well, people
who's worse?
People love their sheltered little lives, don't they?
We're basically animals killing other animals so we could feed. Something dies so we live.
Mm.
So we think we're better.
Right.
No, we're no better than they are.
You're not wrong.
if you kill
life does feed on life. That
Right.
is just a natural law of nature.
Right. Well, then again, people don't know about natural law. So, like I said, you if you grew up on a farm, you're used to what they call colding, and or you're killing your animals for feed. That's fine. But oh my, if you're in suburbia, these people are saving dogs and cats like crazy. But meanwhile, they have bought 3 million kids a year to keep their precision up, or that they don't want no children because they want to keep their nice house, their nice cars, and children are a little inconvenient.
Oh, come on, dude. If you were living in America today, would you have a fucking kid? I haven't. I never really wanted them, but I mean, I understand why nobody's having kids anymore.
Well,
I get it.
I can understand, but I tell you what, at my age, I wish I had more children because that they're the only thing that really matters. Because you got to continue the species, and like I said, it's not a choice that I made, but it happened. Then some people have so many children that they don't care because somebody else is paying for it.
No, that's true too.
If I had to pay for my own, then that's what I did.
That's true too.
I mean, you're going to have no juniors or daughters?
No.
No. But
not that I know of.
Children are sometimes a joy or they're a burden. And people that consider children a burden, you're wrong.
Sounds like life. Sounds
Right.
like experience. Right. You take the good, you take the bad, you take it all in there. You have the facts of life. The facts of life.
Even animals they're kinder to their children than some human beings.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But we don't know till we get there.
Yeah. Human beings and animals are the same thing. Yeah. I don't really discriminate between those two entities. Well, I really don't.
When your time comes, it comes. But when you got opportunities, take your opportunities. Your opportunities now, you're going to paint real life in art. Yeah. Your art's going to be showing real life.
Well, it's going to show a highly exaggerated, beautiful, and sensual form of the violent stupidity and macabre nature of what we actually do in the world.
Yeah.
You know, that's my goal. Yeah, let's wrap this up. Just remember, everybody, do not shoot the messenger when I start showing you some of the work that I'm about to produce. I am depicting what I see. And I'm trying to depict it in a way that stimulates people to take more notice of what's going on in the world around them. Do not shoot the messenger. I think that'll be the name of this podcast episode. Harry, anything you want to go out on before we sign off?
No. We'll give you something on Saturday to next. Saturday is going to be a surprise.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll definitely talk about that on the New World Order podcast.
Let's see if that happens.
So let's promote that. We'll see what happens. Harry's trying to promote a protest in a local town near here over taxes. So yeah, guys, if you want to watch the New World Order podcast, we're banned on TikTok, but if you want to watch the podcast itself, it's I think on YouTube it's at New World Order Now, spelled out, and on Rumble I think it's NWONOW, so you can watch that. Hope you guys like this. Figured I'd try out something a little different. Remember to go visit my website. So even though Rockefeller said, doesn't matter, you don't need to own things as long as you have the use of it, and that's the way to do it. One thing that you should own is my artwork. Go to newworldordernow.art.com. That's NWONOWART.com. Buy a print. Buy an original. Buy a t-shirt. Send me $1 to get a cup of coffee. I really don't give a shit. Just give me your money. But of course, if if you do see something you like and it's hanging in your home, I would certainly be touched and be proud of that. Thank you very much once again for watching the Evilution Podcast. Stay tuned, and probably going to end up doing these 2 or 3 times a week by myself just painting, so stay tuned.
We had our time, but we took it too much and threw